Hi, welcome to a new episode of the Sweet Kitty Crafts podcast channel. My name is Jolanda and I'm coming to you from the east of the Netherlands. Thank you so very much for joining me today. This is a podcast mainly about knitting and spinning, sometimes some other crafts, and a lot of talking. So, if you're new here, thank you so very much for joining me. If you returned, then you're a very special person because I have been away way too long. So thank you very much for returning and checking what I have to say today. So what I'm wearing today is a barley sweater. It was a test knit I did in 2020 and it has a beautiful yoke pattern with some cables and lace, and the body is just some kind of rib pattern, and it's made out of a merino yarn I got at that time. I was a subscription from Knit Crate. So that's what I'm wearing. Behind me there is a granny striped blanket. It is a blanket made out of all kind of scraps, leftovers from socks. And I knit it, and it is holed double with just an undyed bare wool yarn, and that makes a beautiful blanket. So after a long time, it is kind of hard to start up again, and I don't even know where to start. So I had three sweaters laying around. I'm working on some stuff. I'm spinning, and I thought, oh well, let's just do this again. Someday it is time for a new beginning, and I think today is the day. I've been so terribly tired, probably because of allergies and things that are going on since months and months and months. I kind of look like I didn't sleep at all. I slept a lot, but it doesn't help. I unraveled a sweater that was a test knit, and it was too big at that point, and I lost some weight, so it became bigger, and I never wore it. So I unraveled it, I froked it, and I knitted it to another sweater. I had a pattern in mind. I wanted to make the Tulip Sweater, the yellow tulip, I think it was called, a drops pattern. And I knitted it in my hand spun I got from my sons, and it turned out like this. I wasn't happy with it because you can't really see the tulips. If you look very closely, you probably can make them out. But well, I could have understand if you're trying to let something show up, you're not going to use a marbled, a little bit unregular yarn. That's not a smart thing to do. But sometimes the smart part comes after you see what's wrong. So I am unraveling this while I'm knitting it into something else. I also did not have enough yarn. I spun 400 grams, but because it is a merino silk, the silk adds some weight, so you don't get that much yardage out of the same amount of maybe 400 grams of just pure merino. So I unraveled a sweater, and I took some pictures of how it looks unraveled. I skeined it up with a knitting knotty. Then you tie it with figure 8 ties. You just submerge it in water with a little bit of wool wash, just if you like the smell. Otherwise you can just do it in water. And the whole kinkly spaghetti yarn turns in nice and straight yarn again, and you just can use it again for knitting. So that's what I did. I will show you the pictures right now. So that's what it looked like, the yarn, and then when it's dry, of course, it's just going to be straight again. And then I made the sweater, and this is how it looks, and this is looking much more like the tulips I hoped they would look like. The yarn is yarn from Cloudborne Fibers. They don't longer make yarn or sell yarn or whatever. I made a pattern before this with the same yarn, and it kind of grew on me while I wore it. It became a little bit wider, so I made this sweater a little bit tighter than I normally would, because I knew it would grow, but this one doesn't grow. That might have been a part of the pattern that you use. The first one I made, I can show you a picture in a minute, was the pearl sweater from Libby Johnson. It has a satin sleeve, and this one is a yoke sweater, so maybe this doesn't stretch as much as the other one did. Well, it is not a problem. I still like it. I can show you a few pictures now. One of the finished sweater while I'm wearing it, and I can show the other picture of Libby Johnson's beautiful sweater. It is called Pearl, and well, I don't have all the finished objects here, but you still can see what I did then. As you can see, I can still breathe in the sweater, so it's not too bad, but okay. We're still learning, just let's say it like that. Another finished object is the Tilancia Sweater. Oh, like it's the top from Laura Ayler. I made it in some hand-dyed yarn. It was a plan for so long, and this is how it ended up. So it is a top with a yoke increases, and it has some lovely lace at the end of the sleeves and at the bottom. See, it is a very mindless knit, but the neckline is too wide for my opinion. It might be changing the yarn that does that, but I want to change it. This is just a little rolled edge, so I can easily pick up the stitches, and I have plenty of yarn left, so I will definitely modify this a little bit. But it is a beautiful color. It's a beautiful top. I'm happy with it. It has some linen in it, and wool, and I think a little bit of silk. So it is very nice, and for the summer definitely a very nice top. So I will put a picture in here so you can see how it looks on me, but I think definitely the neckline needs a little bit of tweaking. So now I can show you another finished object. It is also a sweater. The sweaters are just popping out very quickly. It is a sweater I made on a bigger size needle, 4.5, and it is 2 strands held together, so it goes quite well. It is a pattern by Drops, and I don't think it's a new pattern though, but I had it on my wish list, on my queue in Ravelry for a long time. So this is the Wishing Well. And this is how it looks. It is a beautiful color. It is Drops Fable held together with kid silk. So that became a beautiful sweater. I always make my my sleeves a little bit longer because I have long arms. I changed the neckline a little bit because it had a very wide neckline. I was not very fond of that, so I just changed it a little bit. I see this is very stretchy, so it might need some work at some point. I wore it. It was little bit. It was not scratchy, but it was a bit itchy. So I think I need to wear a short sleeve, something under it, especially in the neck. It was a little bit itchy. But yes, it is beautiful. The color is also beautiful. So this is 2 strands held together and just flies off your needles. There are many patterns that are similar looking like this, but yeah, okay, I just chose the Drops one, and I think it fits very nicely. So that are the finished objects for now. There are definitely more. If you want to have a look and see what else I made, you can look at Ravelry. I have a Ravelry page there where most of my stuff is on there. and you can find me there as Yolanda Loves Yarn, and then you can friend me or not. You can always look up the projects that were made and when they were finished also. So another sweater I frogged was a sweater I made from, I think 2 or 3 years ago, Christmas, a Christmas sweater. I did not finish it. Again, it was like a scent. It got a lot of likes on Ravelry, but I really didn't like it. It wasn't my style, and I'm somehow discovering my style, what I like at the moment, and it is changing. Those things change, like colors change, the hair color changes, and then your style changes. That happens. But this was a very beautiful pattern from Handmade Closet, and it is called Fatherland. And I just love such a beautiful yoke. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? So the gray is reclaimed from that Christmas knit along I did not finish. So it is an anthracite dark gray from Drops North. That's what I use. And this is just the different shade from Drops North. But look at that. It is such a beautiful pattern. And I'm sorry, I apologize about the setting and the camera. I just wanted to do this like now, and I didn't want to think about it because it will just pass again. If you wait such a long time, you don't even know where to start. Many times I wanted to start and like, what am I going to talk about? But I have some things now. This is just, I have multiple projects on the go. Usually if I choose something with a beautiful yoke, I just knit a yoke and then you know how it goes. The rest is just stockinette stitch. And I say, okay, the fun part is done. The rest I will do as TV knitting, you know, when talking or doing other things in between. You don't have to, you don't have to think about anything. This project is on very small needles because Drops North is like fingering light sport weight, and I don't even know what needle size this is. Can you look it up? I'm using the liquid needles I got for my birthday 2 years ago. It is a 3mm needle, so it is. I'm size L, so it takes a lot of knitting. The body will be just straight like this. Excuse me. And the sleeves do have patterning on the ends at the cuffs, so that is it's very nice and exciting. I knit nice sleeves on small circular needles. I did not like that, but all of a sudden it works. So I can knit a sleeve in a day. It was always Sleeve Island, stuck on Sleeve Island, and it just didn't get through it. And now it's like, okay, I had to unravel a sleeve because I didn't change to a larger needle size, which was such a bummer. And then it makes such a difference in length if you forget to change the needle size, and the other sleeve was already done. So I thought, okay, I had to frog that sleeve, and I reknitted it, and it was a day of knitting. Okay, it is a day of knitting, but looking at the whole sweater takes so much longer. So I don't know. A sleeve it's just a mental thing. But this is Fatherland from Handmade Closet, and it is beautiful. So very looking forward to that finishing at some point, but there's no rush in that. So while I'm still knitting, I am already dreaming of the next project, and sometimes yarn comes in. I did not buy yarn for ages, which was very good. And then there is the sudden, you get such a sad mood, and I couldn't help myself. I did buy some yarn. Drops had a few beautiful patterns coming out. One was made in Drops North. In the pattern on screen, you always know they say, okay, colors might vary, but it looks so white. And then I bought the yarn, and I should have known it because it wasn't white, it was off-white, and okay, it was kind of disappointing, but that was my own fault. And as we all say, yarn doesn't like to travel alone. I also bought some stunning red fluffy alpaca, brushed alpaca silk, which will become something nice. And well, I don't know if off-white is a color that looks good on me. I know I can wear white, but off-white, I don't know. So there is a possibility I'll just try it, and I have to unravel if I look very pale and unhealthy in it, or I don't know. I can dye the yarn, because Drops Noord is alpaca, wool, and I think polyamide. You can just dye it with wool dye, that's not a problem. I can't dye it white, but I want it white. But I have white wool, I can spin it up if I want to. So I will show you the little yarn purchase I did, and then we will see what's next. Well, I had more of the fibers from Cloudborn. Was it from Craftsy at that point? I can't remember. I think it might have been. It is a TK worsted yarn, I think. You can knit it up in different gauges, because it kind of blooms when you wash it. So I had a pattern in my queue on library for a very long time, and it is called Strawberry Summer, and it is a pattern by Olga Beckman. So I try to show you the pattern as I can do it on my phone. So this is the pattern. It has leaves at the bottom edge, it has a leaf yoke, and it has a little leaf pattern at the end of the sleeve. So it is a bottom up pattern, and I am working at the yoke right now. So because this is always, of course, a little bit of a mess, let me see, it is on 4.5 millimeter needles, as I remember correctly. So here is the sleeve with the leaf detail on it. It has ribbing on the end. No, not ribbing. It has I'm lost for words now. See, that's the pot. It's just a rib. It is not ribbing, it is rib. And of course this all turns out more beautiful when it is blocked. See, and let me see if this can make sense to you. I hope it makes sense to me. So you work the bottom first, and then both sleeves, and you join them together for the yoke, and then the yoke is the last. You add button bands and it will be finished. So Strawberry Summer, it will become beautiful purplish yarn. So that is something I'm still working on. Fatherland is what I'm working on, and I have another beautiful pattern. It is yarn from Knit Crate, Uru yarn surrogated sport is this, and it has beautiful glitter where it actually shows up. It's amazing. And this is a very intricate pattern. It has the most amazing neckline. I hope you can see that. Let me see. That is the back with the short rows. Oh, there's another yarn attached. Okay, whatever. Can you see that? The scalloped edge for a neckline. That is just absolutely stunning. Doesn't want to behave. See how beautiful that will be. It's an absolutely stunning pattern, and let me see if I can show it to you again on camera. Let me see. It is, oh, I need two glasses to see it, to read that. Tulip Sweater by Valentina Bogdanova. And this is what the pattern looks like, and I don't think you can see it here. You can. So the neckline has the scallops, and then there is an amazing yoke, which is so stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. and she has a lot of these beautiful patterns. They're just artwork. It's absolutely amazing, very beautiful. So that needs a lot of concentration. I'm sorry, there are lots of starts and stops here because I have to cough like a maniac. It's very annoying, especially when I talk too much. But that is also a beautiful pattern. So I'm still spinning. I have here I had here 500 grams of this beautiful wool. As I remember, it is a merino. So this is something I got from my eldest son, Michael, who is 21 at the moment. And this is absolutely beautiful. I'm spinning it on my e-spinner. I only own an e-spinner at this moment because I only spin on an e-spinner. So here is the yarn, which is nice and fine, and it is, I almost fill up one bobbin at the moment. You can't see anything. It is pretty fine. Don't know if you can see this. And of course this is unplied, so if you ply it, it will double, and well, it will become something beautiful. I'm very sure of that. I also have an aqua blue, a light bluish green, and I have like a kilo of white. Actually white. It is bleached yarn. And then I made some little things with the yarn purchase. It was purchased at Wolplein. It is also called, I think, Yarn Plaza. It has 3 websites in English, in German, and in Dutch. So I assume it sells worldwide. It has a lovely pattern of little scrubbies. You can use them to remove your makeup without the cotton disc you normally use. I mean, we're all being a little bit more aware of the waste we produce, so I thought the scrubbies were amazing. And it was such a lovely, it was a ball of 100 grams of fluffy yarn with a pattern for $6.95, and it actually produced 22 scrubbies, and I thought, oh God, they are so fluffy and beautiful, but will they work? I tried one of them. I don't wear that makeup that often, but they work fantastic. So I made a picture, of course, of the finished scrubbies, and I will show it here for you. So I know there are a lot of free patterns. I think most of them are made with cotton yarn, but these were amazingly and beautiful. So I'll show them too to you. So those are the scrubbies, and they are so much fun, and you just can wash them in the washing machine, and I think you should not dry them in the dryer, but I'll figure it out. Maybe I have a very cold setting on the dryer that might definitely work. I do it sometimes for socks because sometimes they just take forever to dry, and I have 3 persons using non-stop only wool socks, so that is a lot of socks to dry if you just have to hang them somewhere and you live in a climate that is cold and damp. They just don't want to dry somehow. I have a very dear friend in Indonesia, and he asked if I could knit him prayer caps. So if you Google on Ravelry, there is not much that is actually a prayer cap, but as you dive into the whole concept, apparently most mothers just have a pattern in their head and they just knit it, but I was not one of them. So I looked up. I mean, there are so many hats. If you look at the crocheted hat, I made 2 crocheted ones. I think they're a little bit sturdy because prayer caps are like standing here, and so they don't have that much stability, just can fly off. And I thought, okay, if you crochet them, usually crochet is quite stiff, so I went for the crocheting. And you can just look for a beanie actually and just make it a little bit shorter, and it turned out quite well. and the person who got it was happy with it, so that's good. I made two, and I made him a wool hat, which is hilarious because Indonesian men don't need wool hats, but who knows. I just like to use my handspun for a hat, and I thought, whatever. I will put in two pictures of the prayer caps, which were pretty nice, and then maybe we have some talking, who knows. So if you go to Ravelry, the project page is there, and I think I linked the pattern. If there was a pattern, I think the blue one was a Dutch pattern actually, from a website from a lady. Um, uh, that was definitely modified, but it is a very nice pattern. The blue one is made with a sock yarn that contained bamboo, which was very soft. The black one was some sock yarn, but a little bit thicker, which was which has a lot of cotton in there. That was definitely the stiffest one. So, oh, they arrived and he's happy with it. So, fantastic. The last time I spoke, you listened. I was talking about the loss of our dog, and there was another dog in the house. After that, two of my cats died, so I only had two cats left, as Molly and Victor. Victor is 2, Molly is 10. It was a whirlwind of sadness. My mother ended up in the hospital multiple times. She fell and she fell. She dislocated the shoulder. She broke her pelvis. It was, well, it's still not ending. She's still in a revalidation center, and she will not be going home again. So she has a cat, Max. They say it's a male. It's not a male. It's a female, and it is big. It's a big cat, and the neighbor looked after it for 2 months, and the man said, "I mean, the holiday season is coming. I'm just done with it." And we said, "Yeah, what do we do?" Well, we will pick up Max, and for now he is with us for 2 weeks now. He is in my oldest son's room. He adores Michael. She. I say he because everybody calls him he. But he sleeps on the bed. He is so cuddly. Just a few days now, he tries to get out of the room. He met the other 2 cats. Our red cat, he is so clueless. He has no idea. He's like a shadow. He follows everybody and everything. And Max doesn't like that. So he got hit a few times. I hope he learns. I doubt it. The red cat was very ill. He has been at the vet for 10 days because he couldn't pee on his own. It was such a stream of never-ending stuff. That makes you very tired. I was happy I started knitting and spinning again, because that is a very, very relaxing thing to do, mindless. Sometimes I really don't like the mindless because you have too much time to think, but overall, okay, it is very nice and something beautiful is coming out. So I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well. I mean, yes, I'm doing well. This is going to be the year of the changes. I know it. Things have happened that puts the whole world upside down. But something good will come out of it. I have 2 boys. They both doing great. So I still have a lot of things to be thankful for. I am thinking about a new name. I don't know if I remembered if I said it already, because I've recorded this plenty of times, because that's happened when you're away that long. But if you have any suggestions, I'm open for it. The sweet kitty crafts. I don't know, the cat who poses on the logo. He is no longer with us, and I think I need something more like knitting is my life or something like that. Knitting is my savior. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm very bad in names. I hope you had a little bit of fun today. It is a kind of a messy podcast. It's a lot of cutting and pictures, and it is just something that bubbled up and I just wanted to do. I know I always love talking to you. I hope I can keep this up, and I'm so very happy you were here with me today. So I wish you all the best, and don't hesitate to send me messages. I am still on Instagram. I'm very not much on there. I'm not much on anything right now, but you can send me a message. I will definitely read it, and you can leave a comment down below. Would be amazing. And thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon and next time. Goodbye.